Hello, ZPA community. Mark McDonald here, and I'm excited about tonight's Facebook Live. It's special. It's probably and this is a goal that we're talking about every single week, is marketing strategies that are going to allow you to win and actually share your message, build your brand, and help build your Zen Project 8 and Zen message, as well as your Jeunesse business. So, normally I have my partner in crime in here, Renita Road-Brannon. As you know, Renita's been traveling, so she's going to jump on. She's going to probably be about 5 minutes, 6 minutes late. She's been in Mexico. So I love every webcast. I say, Renita, you sure you want to come on? Why don't you take a couple of weeks off? She's like, no, I'm going to come on. So when she comes on, we'll jump on with her and talk about the strategy. But tonight is simple, and it's about how to optimize your Facebook Lives, how to be the best that you can be with that. Now, before we dive in, I want to share a couple things to set you up and just do a quick recaps and actually talk about 2 cool events coming up. Because tomorrow, I'm going to be in South Dakota. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to be in Billings, Montana, as we talk about our Get Lean in 2017 tour. So before that, let me share my screen here. And I want to show, if you're new to the Hangout, you can simply go right here to the YouTube channel. And under playlists, you can see how to share and build. And all of these webcasts are consistently up here. It's under here. So these are all of our sharing and building with Zen on youtube.com/Zen Project 8. Now, what we also are starting to do, and this will apply to this Facebook Live, this webcast as well, this Hangout, is we're going to the new ZP8 Facebook page. And on this ZP8 Facebook page, it's basically, if you look up here, it's facebook.com/Zen Project 8. And this page right here, as you can see, Bonnie manages this page, does an amazing job, but you'll see the recipes. But this was the replay that Renita and I did, and I'm going to share that in the group as well. So after every Monday night, Chris Ojeda puts this on this page, and then we'll share it in the group. And this is great for if someone doesn't want to go to YouTube, if they just want to be in their Facebook page, this is something very simple that you can share with. And then, special announcement here. Many of you have been asking about lead. You say, Mark, are you going to lead? I remember I was in North Dakota, Renita's all, Mark, you're going to lead. I'm just not going to lead. We're going to rock lead. So Zen is going to have an awesome presence. A couple things going on. I'm going to be doing a breakout on Friday. I'll have the times and all of that later this week, but I'm going to be doing a breakout on Friday morning, and it's going to be how to lead with Zen, basically lead with Zen, and really build your business, sharing it and building it. So if you're going to lead, it's going to be a special breakout. Make sure you're there by Friday morning. Then we're going to do a special workout, Zen workout combined with fundraising for Jeunesse kids, and it's going to be Saturday morning. So get your groove on. Anyone coming, you're going to help lead it. We're going to rock it. It's going to be a blast. Then, in addition, we're going to have a Zen section there. We'll be doing Facebook Lives all weekend from it, answering all questions, taking pictures. And then the last thing, throughout the entire convention, we're going to be doing Zen recharge moments to keep energy going, because a whole aspect here, what we're doing with ZP8, what we're doing with Zen internationally, is not about weight loss. It's not about burning fat. It's about living your best health and being the best that you can be. So you can simply go to leadjeunesse.com. This is the website. You can get the tickets. And if you're coming, get ready, because we're going to have a lot of fun together. It's going to be a blast. Okay. Now, before I move on to the actual Facebook Live, before I move on to actually talking about how to optimize your Facebook Live, I want to talk about the 2 events coming in. This is part of our whole campaign of Get Lean in 2017. And this is what I talked about in the beginning. What Renee and I have been talking about in marketing strategies. We talked about the touch points last week. Well, this week, and we talked about the tours this week, it's about looking about how can you take a message that you see virtually through Facebook Lives, through Hangouts. How can you take a plan like you have with ZP8 and the products and the program? And then how do we connect that message and do live tours? Because there's 5 touch points, and I think everyone should write this down. 5 touch points when you talk about communicating with people, reaching people. Number 1, there's written text. That's why I showed the blogs last week. That's why we're doing weekly blogs now with ZP8. I'm really teaching strategies on that. Number 2 is audio, where you can do podcasts. So whether they're looking at these Hangouts on YouTube, whether they're on Facebook Live, whether they can visually see it or not, they can at least hear the audio aspect of it. Number 3 is reel videos. You go to the YouTube channels, we upload videos all the time. They're just straight videos of educating beyond the written text, beyond the audio. Then the 4th is this live interaction, where like on the Facebook Live that I just did at 9 p.m. in the Facebook group every Monday, live interaction, communicating with people virtually. And then the last thing are the live events, where you're actually able to talk with people, hang with people. The lead in Las Vegas in February is going to be one of that. But then we have these 2 events, as we just did in North Dakota the last week. We're now doing Billings and South Dakota. So let me show you these 2 flyers. So if you are in South Dakota, I want to give a big shout out here to Trisha Burns and her entire team, and Yolanda Long and Wanda Beckett right here. This is going to be Get Lean in 2017. And I want you to just educate you on the marketing on this. The Get Lean in 2017 Zen Project 8. So we're speaking to the benefit. Do you want to burn fat? Do you want to increase energy? Do you want to eliminate sugar cravings? Do you want to build muscle? Do you want to achieve permanent results? And then you have awesome visuals upon that. You have a family having fun. You have some fresh fruit. You have some chicken skewers. You have a salad. You have some beef and asparagus. And then you have a lady running, fit lady. So when you're starting to visualize what is those actual benefits that people are wanting applied to some visuals. Then I'm the main speaker on that, but this is really about Ignite Wellness Studio. It's promoting Trisha Burns' studio and then what they're doing. And then I'm going in there, and then there's some additional credibility, me being a best-selling author, health expert, television personality. So it's all wrapped in. Then you got the date and then the message, get ready to start your transformation. Now we're going to be Facebooking live in this tomorrow. It's going to start. So doors open at 5, starts at 5:30. We'll be Facebook live in it. You're going to see it on multiple platforms, but this is just examples of how to market something. It's not just about saying, hey, here's Zen, here's a great shake. The reality is that if you can actually speak to a benefit and people can come into that, and now you're going to see the presentation, people are going to want to be part of the movement. They're going to want to take on the program. They're going to want to purchase the products. They want to experience all of it, but it's about speaking to the message of them and what they actually want to achieve in 2017. So same flyer, but when we talk about Billings, Montana, let me bring that up. Just different location. So right here, big shout out to Black Orchid Yoga Bear. That's actually the studio that Daniel Sperry went to connect, and they're going to host it with Corey Trudell. And it's the same aspect, but this is what they're doing. Now, Danny Sperry did something cool. She partnered with the Diabetes Association in Billings, Montana to help promote it. So what I wanted to share is just all the little things that are happening from a marketing perspective, from a community perspective. So you have your Live It Facebook Lives on Monday. We're having our live events. We do our weekly business building webcasts. There's all these touch points, and there's more and more stuff coming. So I was on a group chat today or over the weekend about better ways on how to build with Zen. What are new things that we can do? Meredith and I were talking about, Renita and I were talking about, Kathleen Paredes and I were talking about that. So share all ideas. There's more stuff coming in 2017, and I just want to share that we're just getting started. That's what's so cool about it. Okay, enough of that. Let's actually dive in to the topic tonight. So I want you to think about your Facebook Lives. I want you to think about, when you're doing Facebook Lives, how are you delivering the message? Are you preparing for it? Or is just a random, hey, I'm going to go live right now? So just spend a moment thinking about that. See, my goal is to not for you to become a robot or to just take away your authenticity or just the energy you have, but actually allow you to start preparing for things. So the first thing, if you want to do a Facebook Live, before I got to talk about any of the steps, you have to ask yourself a simple question. What is the purpose of my Facebook Live? What's fun about social media is it lets us be real, lets us be us. It lets us share with the friends that we don't see every day. My mom lives in California. My sister lives in California. So it connects us more than we've ever been connected before. So you have to decide, is this Facebook Live for my friends, or is it for me to share a message? Now, if it's for your friends, everything I'm going to share tonight, out the door. Just have fun with it. It's for your friends. Maybe, you know, when, like, for example, when Baby Hope is doing her first Sky Zone, there's no purpose for that besides just it's cool that my 20-month-old little baby girl is doing Sky Zone. So we take a video of that. You get Facebook Live. That's just a fun experience. It's in the moment having fun. So if that's what your Facebook Live is, if that's the purpose of it, just go with it. Don't orchestrate it all. Just have fun with it. Now, if you want to share a message, that there actually has to be steps that you follow so that the audience can own that message. So just like how I'm leading this webcast, there's a message I want to share with you, and I'm going to lead you down this, and then how you can actually deliver your Facebook Live. So there's going to be 5 steps. So before you even enter the steps, ask yourself, is this for my friends, or do I want to share a message? Now, if you want to share a message, step 1 is you got to choose a topic that's relevant to you. So when I keep thinking about doing, and a lot of times when I do Facebook Lives, I will have a flip chart right behind me. So I have a setup where I have my iPad Pro right there. I have my lights set up, and I will have I might have visuals with me, which I'll talk about, but I'll have a flip chart right behind me. And then I can use that as reference so that if I lose my place, I understand what my flow is. So number 1, you got to decide what is the topic that you're talking about, and how is it relevant to you, and how is it relevant to your audience. Now, an example would be, last week I did, you don't need a flat stomach to be healthy. And that's irrelevant to me because I remember back when I was a fitness model and I was 4% body fat and I looked amazing and felt horrible. Now, I stay pretty fit all the time anyways as an athlete, and just because I love living a healthy lifestyle, but I'm no longer driven by if I have an 8-pack stomach. And I know a lot of people with different genetics, different body types, a lot of women who've had children, their stomach may not be flat, but they're as healthy as can be. They're doing everything they want with their kids. They're having a great time. So a topic like that was relevant to me as a 44-year-old dad and that experience. And I also know my audience it's relevant to. So you have to choose topics. It could be grocery shopping. I always think of themes. When I'm at the soccer field, I'm at the grocery store, what's the theme? So what's the topic and how is it relevant to you and your audience? That's step number 1. Step number 2, you open with the story that connects that message. Is that Renita coming in?
I can't get the computer, so I'm on the phone again, Mark.
No problem, Renita. So look, this is where we are right now. I love that you joined at the right time. We're talking about the 5 steps of Facebook Live. And I said, number 1, you decide. I said, before you do that, you simply decide, is it for a friend? If it's just for your friends, go for it. But if it's actual message, these are the steps. We talked about step 1 already, where you have to choose a message that's relevant. Step 2, and what I would love is I'll give my example, you give your example.
Okay, great.
Step 2 is all about making sure that you open with a story that's relevant. So my example of you don't need to have a flat stomach to be healthy last week, my story that I opened with is that I was talking to a client earlier in the day, and they're the healthiest that they've ever been, but they have some additional body fat around their stomach, and they were stuck because they don't really care if they lose that, but they thought they had to because they thought that was what defined health. So I opened with that story, and this is my message to everyone watching from a Facebook Live perspective, is I opened with that story because most of my audience will relate to that. So remember, when you open with the story, it can be about you or it can be about someone you know, but the purpose of the story is to immediately connect your message to your audience on the topic you're talking about. Renita, give us an example of a Facebook Live you did and walk us through the first 2 steps before we go to step 3. So number 1 is what's a relevant topic to you and your audience, and step 2 was how did you open with the story to kick it off?
I think a relevant topic that I use many times is just our message of ditching the diet, and how many of you have continually dieted and failed and have gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, and immediately people can relate to that. So that's many times how I open it. What if I could teach you how to permanently turn on your metabolism by eating through your nutrition? That's kind of how I open things. And the relatable story I tell many times, Mark, is more than one example from the Leotas. Especially for me, it's kind of the relevance of the day. Like if that day I measured Leota and she was down another 5 pounds, and now she's down 105 pounds and, 70 inches of fat. I mean, for me, it's literally day in and day out. I have such great examples of everybody around me having such tremendous success that many times I'm telling a story that's relative probably to the day or to that last couple of days, what I've experienced with a lot of my clients. So I feel like my stories are kind of ever changing, but they're always relatable in the sense that they really strike emotion in people, because everybody wants to feel great. Everybody wants to lose weight. And I always think Leota is such a great example because she is 80. And when you hear that an 80-year-old has done it, something in you thinks there's still hope for me. You know?
I love it. And that's, I mean, what Renita just did was exactly. So step one, it's a relevant topic. She opens with a question, which immediately brings you in. So everyone make sure because this is the flow. If you're sharing a message, that's step one. Step two, she shared a story about an 80-year-old, Leota. And immediately you think, man, if an 80-year-old can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Then step three is you got to share some strategies. You actually have to provide content. So you can't hype in the beginning, hype at the end, and provide nothing that people walk away with, because the whole goal with a Facebook Live is to lead someone to where you want them to go in an authentic, real way to provide value to their life. So, you know, for example, on the Flat Stomach, I talked about body type and I used my bike analogy. And you can watch that on my Facebook page, but I use my bike analogy on a road bike for an ectomorph, a mountain bike for a mesomorph, and an endomorph beach cruiser. But for like me talk about Zen, this is a visual I use all the time. Yep. I did a whole blog on Jeanette's website that we talked about, you know, how to choose a protein shake and why we made Zen Fuse. So this could be an entire Facebook Live that I would do that I've done before on Zen, and I did exactly on how do you choose a protein shake. So the actual content and strategies is how do you choose that protein shake, and then I can lead into why we made Zen Fuse. So these are examples. You don't always want it to be about Zen Project 8. You don't always want it to be about a product, but what you really want to make sure is that you're mixing it up and you're making relevant topics. So step three is sharing real strategies that provide value to our audience. So Renita, building off how you talk about Leota, what is a strategy you would share with them then?
A strategy that I use constantly is I say, grab a pen. And if you got a paper plate, grab one of those too. But if you got a sheet of paper, that'll work just fine. And I literally draw the homeostasis chart, but I have people do that with me because there's something about when they put the pen to paper mark. It's almost like they can understand it better when they're writing it. Sometimes people just watch and they're kind of engaged in what you're saying. But when they start drawing that out, it's almost like boom, like a light bulb goes off and they are just like, wow, this is powerful. I've never heard this before. You know, I maybe have never heard that word homeostasis since I was 16. And I certainly didn't know that this was a secret or a key to me having permanent weight loss. I usually give them with the good content of the 80 to 120, that little beautiful chart that you've shown us a million times. But I actually have people just draw that out on a sheet of paper or a paper plate. Many times I have them flip the plate over and divide the plate in thirds and go PFC. I explain that and I say, now how can we achieve this? You know, because we're all creatures of habits, right? We've been doing the same thing for 20, 30, 40 years. If it's chronically dieting, if it's chronically overeating, whatever it is, we're all creatures of habits. And I say, you know, what really needs to happen for you to get your body into homeostasis and to adapt this PFC lifestyle is for you to do the Zen Project 8. And for me, this tool is always in my purse. That's why I just walked to get it out of my purse. It's always in my purse. I have it in my purse at all times. The Zen Project 8 Detox, Ignite, Thrive booklet. You can buy those in packs on the website. I highly recommend having that tool with you, whether you're doing a Facebook Live or even when you're doing a one-on-one. There's something about this tool that people say, I want that. I want that little booklet she's holding up. You know what I mean? And so that's really how I bring it together. But I give them the content of the homeostasis chart, Mark. I explain to them that homeostasis is PFC every 3 like a baby. And I make them say it out loud. And then I say, how are we going to implement this into our lifestyle? How are we going to do this? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do Detox, Ignite, Thrive. And
you can do that on Facebook Live, everyone. There's a delay, like a 30-second delay on that, or like a 20-second. But you can lead your audience with questions on that and say, you know, what did everyone eat for breakfast? And then let them spend that 20 seconds typing when that delay and go to another topic. And then as you see the feed, come back to that. That's the power of Facebook Live. You want to keep thinking, okay, what is relevant to my audience? You know your audience. Then open with a story that brings them in. Then share real strategies. And then the 4-step simple. You got to create some type of call to action. Before you do a close, you got to do a call to action. So an example that I would do on a call to action, if I'm talking about, like if I'm doing a Facebook Live on how to choose a protein shake, that's a great topic to do. How to choose a protein shake. Share a story about people looking in the aisles, about their wandering eyes and no one knows. And then you can share some strategies on that. Okay, this is what you want to look for. And then the challenge you can make them a call to action is, I want you to go and I want you to look at 10 different protein shakes and see if they pass the litmus test. And I want you to visit the blog. Once I post this Facebook Live, there's going to be a blog I want you to read and leverage that. So now you're actually giving them call to action items, actionable items that they will take your message, apply it, and then you can lead them to a tool that educates them even more. Renita, you take on step 4. So what's a call to action?
I love call to action, because usually by this time, the people that have stayed with you on the Facebook Live are the ones that are ready. I'm just going to be truthful with you. You might have got some people on initially. They hopped off. Who knows? Maybe they hop on later if they feel like it was enough value-driven content, if they learned something from you. You got to remember, when people are watching Facebook, everybody's looking at it from the what's in it for me club, right? They're looking at it for like, what is she giving me by me taking my time to watch this Facebook, or what is he giving me? And so if you're giving some good content, they're going to stick with you. And if they've stuck with you up until that 4th step, all you really have to do now is guide them. It's like landing the plane. We got to have to land the plane. And so at that point, really what I encourage people to do, I say, you know, if you're ready to turn your metabolism on, if you're ready to set yourself free from the dieting madness that you've been doing for the last 20 years. I mean, how many of you have been dieting for 20 years? And then people chime in, of course, Mark. And if you're ready to be set free from that, today's your day, because the Zen Project Day, you know, I always give the example in North Dakota, we've lost over 64,000 pounds of fat now. A line I use all the time, Mark, is I say, this program doesn't work for some people. This program works for everyone. You know, some people say it's not going to work for me. And I say, this doesn't work for some people. This works for everyone, every single one of you, because this is straight science-based. So if you are ready to begin your Zen Project 8 journey and have the support that you need, the online support with the awesome Zen Project 8 community, the support that you're going to get from me when you can text me questions if you've got them, and just the tools that you're going to need for this 8-week run that are going to come in your Zen Project 8 to do the detox, the Ignite Thrive, then I kind of just lead them into how they get started on the program, Mark.
Yeah, so what I love about Renita's done is she's doing a Facebook Live on the program side, but then she also does Facebook Lives on grocery shop adventures.
Oh, yeah.
She does all that. So that's the message tonight, is like these 5 steps. You can't do the same topic every time. You have to mix it up, but make it around the whole theme. So that's why you have to, okay, well, what's relevant to my message? So when you think about if you watch Renita's Facebook Lives, everything she does is relevant to her overall mission on leading people. Just like when you watch my Facebook Lives, there's always going to be a relevant topic that's going to relate to me and the audience. We're always going to open up with a story. We're always going to share some cutting edge strategies. We'll always have a call to action. And then we wrap with the close. That's step 5. You have to close. This is what I've learned in all my years of speaking. Best quote ever. I forgot who said it, but I need to find out who said it. The best speeches in the world, or the best presentations, are the most powerful opening and the most powerful closing, and as little as in between as possible. Yeah. Because that's the emotion. So the close has to then wrap it all together. So for example, if my call to action for someone is, hey, read this blog that's posted on this link, and your challenge is go find out other shakes and look at the litmus test and get an understanding on why you should be taking this particular shake and what shakes are best for you. Then my close can be something about, you know, me personally, I'd say, you know, I've worked with so many clients, and what I can see is the one thing that prevents people from getting great results is they don't take in the right shake or the right protein bar. They're great with their meals, but they struggle. They're using soy protein, which is going to bloat them. They can't digest it. So I'll bring in a story that connects to the message. And, you know, everyone you can watch Facebook Lives that Renita and I have done. You can see the variety that we do, but the biggest thing is 5 steps. Choose a relevant topic. Make sure you open with a story, have cutting edge strategies, have a call to action, and then close with some type of story that brings it all together. If you opened with the story about someone else, close with a story about you. If you opened with a story about you, close with a story about someone else. Connect it all the way it is. What's your thoughts on that, Renita? On the close?
I love that, Mark. And I want to just chime in a little bit on what you were talking about, because I read in some book somewhere, maybe it was Brandon Burchard, it was one of these guys, these amazing leaders that we have in the industry of personal development. They said if you give 80% of content away, and if you're giving out value to people, you can charge for 20%. Sometimes people just go out there and they sell 100% of the time. And that actually turns people off. They don't want to listen to you. They actually unfollow you on Facebook. But if you're constantly giving content where you're giving good ideas, recipe ideas, saying something like, hey, did you know that a soy protein is actually going to make you bloated, just like Mark said, and then just leave it at that. People are going to read that and they're going to be like, wow, I never knew that. I better check the protein shake I'm drinking, right? So some of it is, I think, in the world of social media, we're leaders, right? We got to we're basically saying to people, hey, look this way, look this way. And then we're guiding them in the direction for wellness and for health and vitality and long-term weight loss and just nourishing themselves and their families, right? But you can't do that with a sales pitch every time you post on social media. So I really believe in the message. If you're giving 80% of good content, and for me, I post about food and faith and fitness and my family, all those things that are super relevant to me, Mark. And then 20% of the time I'm coming out there and I'm selling, and I'll call it social selling. I mean, I don't come out and say the word selling, but basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to ease them into the plan of doing the Zen Project Date, to get the Transform Kit, to get their 8-week lifestyle started today. But I'll tell you, leading up to that point, they've listened to me because I've delivered content. So the biggest thing I can tell you guys is don't be a professional salesperson on social media. It will actually, people will be repelled by you. You want to attract them to you. You want to give little nuggets every day that are great nuggets, that are helpful, that when people read it, they say, that I learned something from reading that, or I never knew that, and then 20% of the time when you do that Facebook Live, they'll be chiming in and they'll be following to the very end.
100%. I'm working with my buddy Mort Anderson, who's a great NFL kicker, all-time scorer in the NFL. And he's taking a soy shake. And I said, and he read the blog about soy. He said, I can't use soy. What do I need to take? So I didn't sell him on anything. I just said, I shared information. See, this is what we always have to remember. There's a way, there is a line you don't want to be an information provider without leading to action. So the way we're setting up, I see a lot of people on social who do Facebook Lives who just share information without leading anyone. This is why we wanted to do this webcast, to show you there's a purpose when you're going to share content. If you're going to share a message, you have to follow those steps, because when you follow those steps, you actually are leading your audience to ask the next question. You're not selling them anything, but you're sharing valuable information and they want to know more. So when they want to know more, you lead them in the right direction. That's the power of implementing and optimizing your Facebook Lives, so you're not just giving away information without some type of action behind it.
Yeah, Mark, I can give you a great example. I'm going to be starting like a Wellness Wednesday / weight loss segment every Wednesday at 12:30, and I'm going to be offering it on my All Strong Moms Facebook page. But today, to start it off and just to kind of give people a nugget, I actually took my book, Nice and Fat, and I held my book up and I read an excerpt from chapter 5, and it said, eating crappy foods may not always make you fat, but you will always feel like crap. And it just seems so simple, because we know lots of people that eat crappy foods and they love sugar high or too much caffeine, and they may not have a weight problem, but they certainly don't feel well, right? And so I kicked it off with that, and my whole purpose was, by the end, to get people to tune in to my Wednesday wellness segment, and also to go out and buy my book, Mark, right?
Yeah.
But it's all value that I want to give to people. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, when I showed them that, I just didn't start with saying, a self-help tip and that. I basically read from that book. And so what people do is, when they see you reading from that book or this book or whatever book it is, part of them thinks, I want that book. Yeah. I think I might need something that's in that book, right? And so I think you're right. I think I see a lot of content out there on social media where there is no end. You don't have a call to action at the end. And so we have a lot of content delivers, which is great, which is nice. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm in this Zen Project Date in Jeunesse. I'm in this as a business. This is a business opportunity for me, Mark. And do I believe that we can change millions and millions of lives with it? Absolutely. If not, I wouldn't be doing it, right? So people that just give content and never get anybody in on a Transform Kit and are not making any money, well, eventually they're not going to have a business. Yeah. Because, if you don't make some money, you can't stay in business, right? So we want to be great at sharing the message. We want to be great at delivering content. But I agree 100%. there's got to be a call to action and a purpose to it at the end of these Facebook Lives that people are doing. I agree.
Love it. So to recap for everyone, this is your call to action to actually improve your Facebook Lives. So start with your iPhone or whatever phone you have or iPad and practice. Don't go live yet. Do your own video that you can look at and focus on those 5 steps. So you write it down on a piece of paper, just like I have right here. Step 1, and get clear on it in your head. Okay, what is the topic that's relevant to me and relevant to my audience? Okay, write that down. Then step 2, okay, how do I want to open this? What's my story? Okay, then step 3, what's a strategy I want to share? What maybe a visual that supports it? Then step 4, okay, how do I want to lead them with a call to action? You know, you can do a call to action during the Facebook Live, but then right when you upload it, you can do, if you boost it, like you pay for advertising on it, you can add a button like learn more. That's a call to action. You can put a link at the top. You can edit the file on it and put a link at the top. And then step 5 is, okay, well, what's the story that I'm going to close? So you wrap it all together. That's your assignment. I would love everyone watching to do 5 examples. Write down 5, start with 1, but write down 5 different ideas for Facebook Lives. Practice on your iPhone. That's your challenge this next week. And then do them. Start doing them and start practicing, and you'll start seeing a difference in how people are responding to you.
Mark, can I just give them some ideas about what those could be? What topics?
Yes, please, Renita. Wrap it up with this.
Grocery shopping 101. That would be a great topic. What are your best sources of protein to gain lean muscle? You could do an entire Facebook Live on that and bring the Zen Shake, the Zen Fuse Shake into that, along with showing other great sources of protein sources, which people sometimes don't even know what protein is. So that's fantastic.
And wait, hold on, Renita. And you don't need to be a nutritionist to do this, correct? You're just living it.
This is just simply information that you guys, I'm going to tell you, I've always said this to my team. You don't have to be a nutrition coach, because if you know Zen Project 8, if you've been living the lifestyle of the PFC every 3, you know 90% more than the average population knows. Yes. You guys know that? You know 90% more. You probably know more than most people that are in the dietetic industry. I actually had a dietitian show up at my house, and she said, you taught me more in 1 hour than all of my school combined. And so at the bottom, and I'm not a nutritionist, I'm a certified nutrition coach, but you see what I'm saying? So take that and run with that you have value. You should have confidence knowing that 90% of the people are out there looking for what you already have. You've got it in you because you've been living the plan. Another great topic, I think, is what to feed your kid before they go to basketball practice. What to feed your kid before they go to soccer practice. These are all relevant ideas that people have no clue on what to do. They just don't trust me. I'm a mom, and I talk to other moms, and they don't know what's good, bad, or ugly. How about, are your kids getting enough protein with their lean mass? Are they getting enough amino acids? And show the Zen Fuse or the Zen Fit.
And the Zen Fit. You can show this or the Fuse, both.
And you know what I would say? If you guys are serious about changing the lifestyle of your family and implementing some of these changes with your kids, inbox me, and I'll send you out a free Zen Fit. You know, that little Zen Fit only costs you, what, less than $1.50? Yep. That's a good investment into somebody that might be a constant consumer in your business. Right, guys? And so what's the best breakfast to start with your day? That's another great topic. What's the best breakfast to start with? These are all amazing topics that you guys can start. I just gave you a handful, but I mean, it's endless, Mark.
And make the shake as you do that. You can do your Facebook Live, share the story, and say, you know, my friends tell me all the time they don't know how to eat breakfast. They don't know what to start with. So I use a shake. You know, you can show your blender. You can show your fruit. You can make it an exciting aspect. See, that's the whole thing. Doesn't have to be selling something. It's providing value to your audience.
Right. Absolutely.
Cool. So, Renita, I'm so glad you joined. Now, where are you? Are you in Mexico still?
No, I'm home from Mexico. I'm in Arizona, but I actually go back to North Dakota tomorrow. So I'll be back. But you know what? This is the beauty of Zen Project 8 and Jeunesse. I've actually been rocking my business from Arizona and from here. And I've actually, since I've been on this 12-day run, I've actually got 16 new customers, 3 new distributors. So the beauty of Zen Project 8 is you can work it wherever I have my cell phone and wherever I have my purse with my Zen Project 8 booklets. I'm in business, baby. So
I love it.
It's super simple, you guys. Let's get out and share it with the world wherever you go. Take it with you.
Hey, so next week we got a special one, Renita, when you'll be back in North Dakota. We're going to be talking about mastering the 4 types of communication. So really helping people speak to people that aren't like you. If you've ever said to yourself, I can only talk to people like me, then you need to be on the webcast next week, because we got to train how you can talk to all people, not just people like you.
Right. Absolutely. I love that, because you know what? Thank God we're all different. I've always said, thank God there's not only blue crayons in the crayon box. We need all the colors.
Exactly. Okay, Renita, I'm so glad you joined us. Everyone, next week, hey, be ready. Facebook Live in from South Dakota tomorrow, from Billings, Montana on Wednesday.
Awesome.
We are changing the world together. Love you guys. See you next week. Thanks, Bonnie.